Hello. So a lot of you were very interested in what I was talking about on my stories yesterday about black mold poisoning, black mold toxicity, and kind of just were more interested in my journey with that. So I actually have my mom because she was with me every step of the way, literally held my hand through it. And she's just gonna pop in every now and then. So actually my black mold story started back last October when I was in my last apartment. And I had been there for probably about a year and a half. And October, I had noticed mold around the vents, my living room, and then my kitchen, which it's an open space, so it's a shared space. And I had let my complex know about it, and the maintenance guy came in, wiped the vent, repainted it, and that was that. And he told me, he goes, you should probably stop leaving your balcony door and your window open when the air's on. And I looked at him and I was like, well, I don't do that. I don't think that's the issue. So I kind of was talking to my parents. I was like, I don't think this is like the best thing. And so I moved out and I moved into a different apartment complex in Mount Pleasant. And
that was after we tested for mold in your apartment. And,
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So I actually had a mold company come out and test the mold that was there. Mm-hmm. And they came back and said it is black mold and that it is from the building being built with wet wood. So that's when I was like, all right, let's move.
I think that was more like, no, you're moving.
Yeah, so I moved. And then, so I moved in November, and then March came around. Mm-hmm. In March, I got really sick. But in hindsight, I definitely had like classic black mold symptoms. Headaches, was not sleeping good. Kind of just going through life in a little bit of a fog. My eczema was really bad. My bruising was really bad, which I don't know. I guess because I just was bruised all the time, I never really paid attention to it. So yeah, it was not good though. And then Mom pointed it out and I was like, yeah, that's really bad. And my memory was really bad too. Mm-hmm. And I would have like the occasional panic attack, which kind of did increase a little bit.
A little bit.
We laugh about it now, but it was not funny in the moment.
No.
So March rolls around and that just is kind of when I just completely combusted. Like the one day I just was so sick, which I had like been feeling like just not great like the few days leading up to that. And I called her like sobbing. I was like, I'm freaking out. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like everything inside my body like is screaming at me right now. Like I thought I was having a heart attack. Like I had heart palpitations, crying, everything. And I was like, I need to go to the hospital or something. I was so freaked out. So long story short, I basically lived with my parents for like a month to 2 months, but those first 2 weeks were terrible. I felt horrible. I could not sleep. Same thing. I was so freaked out. I was actually sleeping with my mom every night and just crying to sleep every night. Like, I don't want to die.
You guys know, seriously, the anxiety and and for lack of a better word, psychosis. It made me sad and it really worried me because that's not my child. This is not my beautiful, lively, 24-year-old daughter. It wasn't the same person because she was just in such pain and just not who she normally is. And so that was really concerning to me. So we reached out to a friend here in the Low Country. Thank you, Melissa. And she hooked us up with Deeper Healing on Daniel Island. and we got her in pretty quickly because they were on like what, a 2-month waiting period or something like that. I'm like, we can't wait. So, you know, great.
Well, I literally thought something was like wrong with me. Like I thought whether it was a terminal illness or like God forbid, but I literally just was going to the worst scenario.
Yep. But that's what black mold does, is it just cripples you with anxiety.
But it also just basically fucks your whole body up.
Yep.
And so I got a mycotoxin test done, which is through your urine. I got a full blood panel done. And so my mold numbers were low. So I just was like, okay, like whatever, I guess maybe it's like not that big of an issue. But my doctor was like, I mean, even these numbers this low like affect somebody a lot, and let's see where you're at in 3 months with your follow-up. So they put me on their protocol, and my blood panel too. So what I didn't know is mold literally just clogs your whole liver, not only your brain but your liver. So my liver numbers, insane. And plus I never took care of the original mold situation, like detoxing my body from that. I wasn't exercising, I wasn't eating great, like I drank, like all of those things. I wasn't getting any sun. All of those things feed mold to replicate, basically. So yeah, my liver numbers were up, my cholesterol was up, which that had everything to do with panic attacks. And I was really low in a lot of my vitamins, my iron. And my cortisol was a little high too. Go figure.
Yeah.
And then, so got on their protocol, did that for 3 months, went back for my follow-up this week actually. It's been a long week. And my doctor could not have been beaming more than she was. She was literally my own personal cheerleader. All of my numbers are back to normal, and what's crazy, my mycotoxin test that I did, my mold numbers were like quadrupled. And she said, this is actually normal. I freaked out for a second, but she was like, no. This is normal. This means it's actually all coming out. Then the mycotoxin, I think I said this is done through your urine. Mm-hmm. So she was like, this is good. This means it's all coming out. Like your body just has been riddled with mold. And so I have my other follow-up in 6 months, and she said your number should just be almost basically back to zero, which will be great. That just means like you're doing everything right, you're killing the mold, everything.
So the one thing, and I think what you should do is maybe on Monday or Tuesday of next week, tell them what your protocol was.
Oh yeah.
But the great thing is that the only way that you can get rid of black mold, there is no prescription drug that will get rid of it. It will only hide the symptom. You really have to go through this process, which she'll share with you, what she did and, what other people can do. But there's a lot of times that people don't understand that they have mold poisoning, and there's different types of mold, and it can result in different types of how it actually festers in your body and what happens to you both on the inside and the outside. So that's really interesting. A lot of times this attributes to anxiety and actually psychosis, psychiatric problems. And there's such a thing called, you guys, literally black mold rage. It's called mold rage, where people cannot control what is going on internally and they just have these terrible outbursts. So
I didn't have that issue.
No, you didn't. But you guys, she had massive panic. It was bad. Never seen her like it.
It was really
just
bad.
Made me really nervous. So I'm just glad that she's doing so much better.
I'm pretty sure like that whole month, like nobody heard from me except for maybe like 1 or 2 people, just because I was so freaked out. I had no idea what was going on.
And your body was going through a healing process starting that time too.
Yeah.
Because she came here and let me take care of her too, which which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
well, and then I had my new apartment that I moved in. Well, old new apartment that I moved into. Tested for, there was no mold there, so it was definitely from this last apartment complex, which I'm not going to say the name of it, but where those issues, because I had slept and breathed that for basically 2 years. Yep. Cooked in there, everything. So yeah, so
if you guys want more information, just hit her up in a DM.
Thanks.
It just rolls off the tongue.
But thank you. Yeah. If you guys are interested in like basically the specifics of the protocol that I went through and everything, and like what the testing and everything looked like, just let me know and I will go live again.